AITA for ruining my kid's life after she ruined a dress? X, 31, and I, M 32, had Claire, F 16, way too young. We're friendly co-parents. One big rule we share is if our daughter breaks something, she pays for it. Now, sis, 27, and I are the only grandkids. Aunt never married. Instead, she worked with GMA and GPA at their seamstress store and took it over when they retired. Sis's girlfriend, 29, proposed last year. GPA offered to make FSIL a custom suit, which she was over the moon about. GMA had me ask Sis what her dream dress was and record the convo. Sis, thinking it was just between us, told me in great detail what her dream dress was, though said it was way too expensive, so she would get something much cheaper. Well, a few months later GMA surprised Sis with her dream wedding dress. It fit perfectly and everyone cried. Sadly, GMA recently passed away, which hit us all hard. Sis was devastated, but decided that the dress meant GMA would still be there with us at the wedding. The issue comes in with Claire. She's very large, much larger than Sis. 3 days ago, we decided to go visit Sis and see how she was doing. It was great, but then Claire asked if she could try on the dress. Sis politely said no. Claire made a face, but dropped it. Later, we decided to go grab dinner. Sis and I went to pick up our orders, but Claire decided to stay and play with Sis's dog. We got back, and the dress was destroyed. Claire had apparently tried to get it on, popping some seams, and got stuck. Instead of waiting for help, she cut her way out. The dress was hacked to bits. Sis was devastated and asked us to leave. I grounded Claire, and called Aunt with some pictures, asking if it could be saved. She said there was no. She said she'd make a new one, but it wasn't the same. Then she dropped the bomb on me. GMA had hand-sewed most of the dress, used super expensive fabric, and put almost 500 hours in making that dress, since it was the only family wedding we'd have. In total, the dress cost $12,000, give or take. Claire has about $15,000 saved from various jobs, as well as winning writing competitions. This was supposed to help her in college. I took her to the bank and set in motion transferring all the funds, since as her parent I still have control over it. $12,000 to Aunt to pay for the new dress. $3,000 to my sister's wedding, as an emotional distress tax. I explained exactly why this was happening to Claire, but she sobbed the entire time, asking what was she supposed to do for college and saying it wasn't her fault. I told her she could get a job if she didn't get a scholarship, and it was her fault for trying on the dress after she'd been told no, and for not waiting until we got back. A few popped seams could have been fixed. Hacking the dress to pieces couldn't. Claire told my ex, and while she agreed Claire was in the wrong after the full story, said I shouldn't have ruined her future for a free dress. I reminded her of our rule, and she still thinks I'm wrong. So, am I the a-hole here? Edit. Since people are mentioning they don't understand the 3K, that was to make up to my sister that Claire destroyed the last gift our dead grandma ever gave her. I consider that part of the price of destroying the dress, since even if Aunt remakes it, it's lost a great deal of its sentiment value. I pointed out how young we has her because I wanted to explain how a 31-year-old has a 16-year-old kid. I do not resent having her, she's the best thing I've ever done. I also brought up Claire's size because Sis has Crohn's disease, and thus is very tiny. The dress was made her for size, and Claire is much larger than Sis. I love Claire as she is, but just holding the dress up, it was clear it wouldn't fit. The character count is very limiting. Edit 2. To clarify, the money was Claire's have fun at college money, not her college fund. My ex and I are paying for whatever scholarships don't. When she was asking what she would do for college, she was asking what did she do for fun and to buy things we didn't pay for. Again, the character count is very limiting, so I had to cut details to post. Edit 3. Her punishment hasn't stopped there. I've decided that she will help Aunt in the shop make the new dress. She's also grounded, something her mother agreed with, for the next 6 months. Parental controls on the computer so she can't use it except for homework, no friends after COVID ends, no takeout, no car, no phone, no video games, no TV, nothing. She's also lost the right to be alone, since she clearly destroys things when left to her own devices, so she has to be in the living room unless she's sleeping at night. I'm also not getting her the dog I promised. None of this was mentioned because it doesn't apply to the specific situation. But believe me, she is being punished. If my sister had decided to take her court, as would be her right, my daughter would have lost a hell of a lot more, since I wouldn't be paying her legal fees, and would be on my sister's side. And if she didn't have the money, then I'd still make her make it up by getting a job and forcing her to pay every penny to my sister. She still has other savings, has an investment account and such. This was a light punishment for what she did, and it will continue. Update. So, I got off the phone with my ex about 20 minutes ago. At some of your suggestions, I sent her the pictures, and she freaked. She apparently didn't believe me when I said it had been hacked apart, and believed it was just a few torn seams. She was pretty much on my side after. She told me that she spent the day badgering our daughter, asking her why she did what she did, and finally Claire cracked and said she was mad that Grandma wasn't alive to make her a dress, and that it was unfair my sister got a free beautiful dress as a reminder when my daughter got nothing, despite the many things she was given after the funeral. She tried it on, took it off when the seams popped, and then in anger hacked it apart. If she couldn't have a dress from Grandma, no one could. Her own words. Honestly, knowing she did it on purpose has just made things worse. The fact that she could be so cruel, that's not the daughter we tried to raise. She will be going to therapy, whether that's in person when local therapists start taking new clients again or on one of those apps people have mentioned. We need to talk about it more. Her punishment stands as is, though we're going to see how therapy goes. As for all the seamsters who have reached out, please know I'm touched by your kindness. I really am. My aunt is going to see if she can incorporate at least some of the fabric from the old dress into the new one, maybe at least try to save the beading, but if there's anything usable I'll reach out. I so appreciate all of your offers, you're incredibly kind people. I have yet to talk to my sister, but I have talked to her fiancé. Sis isn't doing well. The stress has caused a Crohn's flare-up, so she's stuck in bed sick. Which, honestly, I'm not surprised. Crohn's is often triggered by stressful events, so I was expecting it. I told fiancé about Aunt making a new dress, and she promised to take the remains over to Aunt on Monday. She's thankful for us addressing the issue, but has asked for some space from sis so she can recover and heal, and hopefully not end up in the hospital. As for the 3K, we'll see what my sister's state is in a few days. If she has to go to the hospital, then the money is forfeit for her medical bills, since it was Claire's selfishness that put her there, so she can pay for it. If sis does not end up in the hospital, then I'll consider giving it back after she's gone to therapy for a few months, if she's accepted what she did was wrong and worked to make amends. We'll see what the next few months bring. Update 2. Hey everyone. It's been a long time, and a lot of things have happened. I think it's finally gotten to the point where I can post an update that many of you asked for. I'll do shortest update to longest update. The dress, many of you reached out and offered to try and help, and I'm so thankful to you. I couldn't respond to everyone, but thank you so much. As some of you suggested, GPA used pieces of the original dress to make accessories for my sister to wear, and she loved them. She'll still wear some of the hair ties for special occasions. My aunt was able to make an almost perfect replica of the dress for the wedding, so while it wasn't the same, it was close. My sister, she did have to go to the hospital to treat her Crohn's flare-up. It was terrifying, and since she was immunocompromised she did catch C-19. I was so scared I was going to lose my baby sister, but thankfully she pulled through. She is now finally married to her wonderful wife. My ex and I tried to have Claire pay for the hospital bills, but my sister refused to take the money. They do have good insurance, luckily. SIL was still pissed and torn about having Claire at the wedding, but my sister insisted. Claire wasn't part of the wedding party, but she was still invited and joined their special day. While it's not forgotten or really forgiven, my sister is willing to move on, at least. Finally, Claire. I think seeing her aunt so sick did help kickstart Claire realizing how wrong she'd been, since it was a domino effect of her actions in the first place that started all of this. She herself admitted in therapy it was her jealousy over having to buy a wedding dress in the future instead of having one made for her like it was done for my sister. She does still struggle with her anger at times, but it is getting better. It turns out she used to get all her anger and aggression in sports at school with her friends, which is why she seemed so calm all other times, but being in lockdown just forced everything to build up in an unhealthy way. Still not an excuse for what happened, but at least an explanation. As I said in an update last time, my ex and I are paying for college for whatever scholarships Claire doesn't get, so at the time taking the 12K for the dress seemed right. I do still stand by that. But after seeing how much she's worked on herself and on trying to repair things with my sister, I have given her back the 3K that my sister didn't take for hospital bills. She's also been working with my aunt and GPA 1 day a week as well as editing others' essays to build back up her fun money. I matched 50% and gave it to her when she graduated. She started college in the fall with a few scholarships and is continuing therapy. Things are still tedious with her and my sister, but they're working on it. Claire has been trying hard, shown she really is sorry, and is trying to fix things. I still think we have a while to go, but we'll get there.